Hi everyone, I am going to build a automatic pig feeder so I can put 130 pounds of food, 330 pounds of food out there where the pigs are, as opposed to in here where I have to cart it up with a 5-gallon bucket. It's not actually going to make the carting of the food up there any more efficient, but I can use the tractor to put the food up there. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pallet, I'm going to put a barrel on top of it that I've cut some notches in, and I'll walk you through the whole thing, but basically on opposite sides of the bucket there's going to be a flapping lid that the pigs can open up, nom nom, when they leave, closes again. So now to bully you, you actually have to walk to the other side of the feeder. I think it's hilarious. Let's get started. I was having a hard time figuring out where to source pallets. I went to a flooring store and bought some more floor for the interior of the house. I noticed that pallets in the back. I'm like, what do you guys do with the pallets? They're like, please take them. For the barrel, there's a local, 40 minutes away place that sells food grade containers, IBC totes, buckets, barrels. So it seems like once every couple of months I go up there and go, I need this, this, and this, and this. And they have it. So I took this barrel and I figured out what its center point was and drew that center point all the way through. And then I cut a notch 5.5 inches tall. Now the reason it's 5.5 inches tall is basically I'm going to make it so there's a 2x6 sticking out of this thing with a beveled cut on the outside. So 5.5 inches is the exact height of a 2x6. The overall width of the cut, which I used a side grinder for, is 11.5 inches. So I haven't done anything fancy here. I basically just centered the barrel on the pallet. 2.5 boards here, 2.5 boards here. I was very technical about it. I went and I put my fingers like this and I walked around the other side and I went, yep, it's in the middle. Now for mounting hardware, oh great. I do love when people put different length bolts in the bins at hardware stores. Oh well, it's long enough, it'll work. I have 2 regular bolts and 2 lag bolts. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the lag bolts and I'm going to put them down this center line, taking advantage of this board here in the structural part of the pallet. So they're just going to lag right into that. I'm going to pre-drill them and then bolt that down. And then on the other, for the regular bolts, I'm going to put a hole over here and over here, and I'm going to washer nut those to hold this in place. And once that's all done, I will be back to show you my progress. All right, I've got the 2 lag bolts in there. Now I'm going to drill a 3/8 inch hole, which is just big enough to clear the threads of the regular bolts. I want to line it up with a board. I just want to make sure I'm not drilling a hole right there between them like that. I want to be in here. So I'm going to reach down, eyeball it, put it right here. No, right here. That did not want to drill through the wood. Now what I'm thinking is to pick a different board, but this board is so big that I'm kind of stuck with it, so I'm going to put that one right here. I hope you guys caught all the scientific measuring and everything I did with that. Chaos. Good. Hit the board. That's all that matters. All right. I'm going to lift this thing back up on the bench so I can put some bolts in it. All right. We're back up on the table. The 2 lag bolts are plenty to hold this barrel, but I don't know what kind of stresses I'm going to put it through as far as pulling and pushing and etc. So I'm going to put 4 bolts instead of 2. So on the inside, bolt and washer. Dos, please. And then on the back, we're going to put a washer and 2 nuts per bolt, which just makes sure that in all the jostling and wiggling and whatnot, I don't loosen the bolt. If you guys don't know, when you put a second nut on a bolt and you tighten the 2 nuts down together, it becomes a lock nut. Alright, this is going to be super fun to do because of the reach. So I'm going to put you guys down over here so you can laugh at me. Get a nice big pellet instead. Oh, it just happens to be that my arms are long enough. If your arms aren't quite long enough, get a friend. Now, right now I'm not putting the 2 bolts all the way together because I need to get a 9/16 wrench. And my 9/16 socket and tighten up the first one. If I went the right way, it might help. Now that that's tight, spin this one on, give it a little, now these bolts aren't coming apart anymore. Let's do it again. I'm trying to build this, well, the rest of it, with stuff that I have around the house. So I went rummaging in the garage, and this is what I came up with. I've got this 2x12. It's 49 inches long. What I think I'm going to do, which is not what I said a minute ago, is I'm going to abut this. I'm going to actually cut it at an angle so it will abut better. And then I'm going to cut it from slightly above this slot at an angle down to 2 inches. And I think I can actually get 2 of them out of one section because 2 inches right there. I'm going to make them about 14 inches long, so it'll come out to about here, which gives the little porkers a place to put their feet if they so desire to do it, but if not, then they'll be close enough. It also makes it so that the covering that I chose will be pliable enough that I don't have to use a hinge. I just want to screw it down. I'm going to show you what that is. So my dad had these mats in our garage a long time ago, and we use them anti-fatigue mat, but as you can see, it's very flexible. So if this was 14 inches long and I screwed a couple of screws on each side of it to the 2x12, I think it'll make a nice little flapper. So I'm going to get cutting. It's boring to watch on YouTube, I think. So I'm going to cut it. Going to get it stood up, and we'll take another look to see if it's going to work or not. There has been some thinking going on and some doing. So what I did here was I notched the board to go around the bevel, the strength bevels in the barrel, including at the bottom. I did have some chip out, but I don't care really. My goal for attaching this particular board is just to toenail it down. I'm not gonna try to hook it up to the barrel because the barrel is not gonna move. So two toenails on the inside, one on the back, will be good to go. You can see that I made one for both sides. They're a little bit sloppy on the holes, but basically I took the DeWalt skill saw and bent it around to 50 degrees so it's crazy arced, and then made it so the blade was barely out, and started nicking at it because this wood is so dry that when I tried to use a chisel, it broke. So obviously I don't know what I'm doing with a chisel. So first of all, you can't use both sides of the one board because I beveled it. I beveled it at a 35-degree angle so that it'll abut better to the barrel, and that makes it so you can't use the top and the bottom because the bevel's on the wrong end. So all I did here was I took and made a little notch down there in the drawing, and I drew a line up the center of this to show me where the bevel was on the barrel on each side, and then I played with it with a skill saw. I'll be back when I'm done with that and ready to toenail. All right, we're back at it. I've gone to the hardware store, got a couple more lag bolts. I decided instead of toenailing this board down that I would lag bolt it up from the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace around the bottom of these, drill 2 holes into the floor, into the pallet, which is the floor, and then bolt in from underneath. That'll help guide me. And what I've also done, to compensate for the gaps in the board, I put a piece of 3/8 plywood cut 9 inches by 12 inches in the center there, and I'm just going to screw that down. It's not waterproof, but there will be a lid over this, so I'm counting on it lasting long enough. And I got plenty of 3/8 plywood, so if it wears through, just cut another piece, put it in there, done. So I'm going to square this up, draw the lines, put marks where I'm going to put the holes into these, and then flip everything on its side and tighten it up.